Do you ever feel like you're losing your mind? It's the way I'm feeling today. Hi, it is Jane, and I do have some finished objects, mainly a box full of those hats. Did get the rest of those hats finished, and those are ready to go back. I did have one other finished item, and this one was rather interesting. My sister had sent me a text, and she said, I saw this either online or something. And she said, I'm curious how big a square it would be, crochet square. Now, my sister does crochet. She could certainly crochet. I don't know if she wanted me to crochet her one. But what it was it was a small little pouch. And you can see, put a little button on it, a little flower button. I just used some yarn that I had. She'd asked me, about how big. So I went and I crocheted an 8-inch square and put single crochet around the edging, and I just used whatever skein I had. And what it is it actually holds my passport. So she was wanting to know about how big, and I said, well, I made this one 8. I did put the button a little higher. I would have actually put the button lower on this had I really thought about it. You could probably do a 7-inch square, but here's another idea, not only for your pouch. If you take and you crochet the Romanian cord for this would be a beautiful little pouch, make a beautiful little purse. You could actually use this for Operation Christmas Child to make small pouches. Now, I didn't line this, and I did tell her that if I were going to do it, I would probably line my pouch, mainly because if I'm wearing this where I'm going someplace, traveling, I would want easy access to it, but I would also probably throw in change, coins, maybe money, where I was at. So I would line it so that would not fall through. But that is a cute little simple idea that you could turn into a child's purse. You could turn it into a passport holder, you name it. Either a 7-inch or an 8-inch square would work perfectly for a passport. You can see I have about 1 inch left on this side. So that's why I think a 7-inch would probably work. And if you were worried about it not being wide enough once you sewed it together, you could probably do 2 rows of single crochet around the edge so that it would be wide enough. Now, the way that it is sewn is simply sewn by folding it, So, there's that for Operation Christmas Child. I have continued to work on my Tunisian crochet baby blanket, and I know some of you said that you thought it was big enough, but I do want it to be a little bit bigger, so I am working it up a little bit bigger. Right now it measures 32 inches. I am trying to shoot for 35, so that's where I'm going with that. And I've been working on the bod. I've got through, I think, row 34. I haven't started the one that she did this week, so I'm a little bit further behind on that. But that's where I'm at, and I am using that sparkle yarn in Hercules. And that is it for that portion of this. I do have some bags that I have finished. I have a couple of Bible covers, so I thought I would go over those with you. I have 2 of these in the Garden Grows, and this will fit I have to sew the buttons on. still. This will fit the, what is this version? Let me find it. This is the ESV large print thin line version, and I will sew a button on the front there. I do also include a ribbon, you know, for placement marking. These are a little bit, they're a little more roomier than normal, and that is because I do have a lot of folks that like to slip the bulletins in the front and hang on to those. So there is that one. The next one actually fits the what is this one? The New King James Version, and that is also, I don't have any of the buttons sewn on these, and I do believe that it will fit also, what is this one? King James Version. And you know, the way that you do that is you just slip them in, yep, into the pockets. It will also fit the New King James Version. There are some typical measurements that you need for your Bible, and I will give those to you for these. For the most part, the Bible covers, for the English Standard Version, cover the thin line large print. That's about 8 3/4 tall, and it is about 5 3/4 inches wide, and then it's about an inch thick. So yeah, that covers quite a few of the Bibles. The NIV large print also will fit into that larger one. Those are two sizes right now. And I will tell you, I am working on some other versions. The NIV, I think it's large print. NIV thin line large print. I have some of those cut ready to make, but they're not in that garden print. They are in some flowers like pansies and, you know, things like that. And also a Bible, not a Bible, a Christian print. But I did have some boo-boos, and the boo-boos were made for the English Standard Version large print, thin line. However, for some reason, I cut these down a little bit so they don't really fit well into these. And these are, that's not the right one. These are the two that I had done. And they don't really fit, but they're great for journals that are just a little bit smaller in size. And I will put the measurements up. These have snaps on them. You could put the English Standard Version thin line large print in there, but you are really going to have to work it hard to get those covers in on the, you know, because it's just a tad short. It's like maybe 1/8 of an inch too short for these, but these would make great journals covers in regular books that you're reading, and I will put those measurements up a little bit later. That is about 8 1/2 inches by 6 1/4. So there are some devotionals it will fit. It will also fit a few of the paperback books, and they're about an inch thick. So you've got a little bit of room there with those, but you could, you certainly use those. They have a snap, like I said, on them. So, yeah. Like I said, those were boo-boos. I don't know why I cut them down thinner, but, you know, sometimes you do something stupid. And they will be up in the shop later on this evening. I do have that blue flower in a drawstring bag. Now this drawstring bag, I had a little bit of extra fabric, so I actually put in a couple of pockets. So you have 2 pockets on this on the bottom that you could slip your cell phone in or whatever you want it in. And I just got a little goofy and crazy and decided to do that. The drawstring bags measure 13 inches wide by 12 by 14 inches tall, and they have about a 5-inch depth to the thing, so it's going to hold quite a bit. And then I have 3 totes that I have made. One is this pink flower, and it does have snaps in it. The snaps are little hearts, and there are 2 snaps on the larger ones, and it does have a pocket on it. And these are quilted. These are soft, cushy bags. They're not going to, they'll stand up well to a lot of wear and tear, but they're a little bit different because they are quilted. And these bags measure about 16.5 inches wide and almost 15 inches, not wide, 15 inches tall. And of course there is a blue one, blue flower, has snaps as well, 2 on these. And it does have a pocket on the inside as well. And it again is quilted. And then I have one smaller of the blue flower. And this bag is 14 inches wide by 12.25 inches tall. It does only have 1 snap in it. And the interior on this is a green flower print. And it has a pocket as well in it. So yeah, these are all quilted. They're softer, little cushier. I found a tote full of batting, and they are smaller size pieces that I don't want to piece together for quilts. So I'm making bags and zipper bags with them, you know, notions pouches. The notion pouches are going to be one-offs. They're probably not going to be matching these. Some of them may match these, but I doubt it. Because I use quite a bit of that fabric, and a lot of the fabric is totally gone as we speak. So yeah, I am going to put those boo-boos up there with photos so you can see some of the books that will fit into it. I do have quite a few books that I take from our church library to read, you know, like Be a Praying Church, you know, that those will fit into. They will fit into the travel Bibles that you have. Many of those travel Bibles will certainly fit into these. They'll be a little bit roomier. So yeah, there you go. And that is it for that. So, are we ready for a little what in Tarnation? Let me get this up. And I will pull up the what in Tarnation. Maybe. It's going to take a little bit. Sorry about that, folks. It's slow. Okay, here we go. 2 vultures found too drunk to fly in Connecticut. An animal rescue group in Connecticut said a pair of drunk vultures were treated with fluids and a big breakfast before being released. A place called Hope said in a Facebook post that the dynamic duo had been dumpster diving and ended up eating something that was fermented enough to cause severe intoxication. The rescue said the vultures were initially thought to be too seriously ill, but testing confirmed they were merely just too drunk to fly. They only needed fluids and to be tucked in overnight and fed a big breakfast the next day. The vultures were released back into the wild and successfully rejoined their colony. Remember, your cocktail fruit that ends up in a dumpster can end up intoxicating wildlife if the dumpster is not kept closed. Apparently, that is what it was that did that. Strangers do some of the nicest things, don't they? Strangers return diamond ring found on Texas beach to its owner. A wedding ring lost on Texas's Galveston Island was returned to its owner's finger after being found by a couple attempting to remove an old net from the sand. Desi Maldonado said she was visiting Galveston Island with her family and only realized hours after digging through the sand that her wedding ring set was missing from her finger. Maldonado enlisted the help of the Galveston Island Treasure Hunters Club, a Facebook group for metal detecting enthusiasts. Scott Pierce and Clyde Longworth took their metal detectors to the beach to search for the ring, but soon discovered Maldonado's diamond ring had already been found. Caleb Brignac said he and his girlfriend had only been at the beach for about 15 minutes when they spotted a fishing net partially buried in the shallow water. Brignac began digging the net out from the sand, and when he tossed a handful of shells to the side, he saw a diamond ring fly through the air. The couple saw Pierce and Longworth using his metal detectors nearby and approached them with their discovery. Pierce said it was particularly a lucky discovery because it turned out the ring had been buried so deep in the sand that their metal detectors likely wouldn't have found it. The metal detectorist put the two couples in contact, and the ring was soon returned to Maldonado's finger. It's a great story. Have you ever wondered what ends up in an Uber or Lyft's lost and found? Here's a couple of items. Uber's annual Lost and Found Index revealed some of the most unusual items left behind in rideshare cars over the past year, including a toupee, a ceramic cat, and a live turtle. The 8th annual snapshot of the most surprising and most popular items left in Ubers revealed the most common items reported lost by passengers were clothing, luggage, headphones, wallets, jewelry, phones, cameras, tablets, books, laptops, and vaping supplies. I find that rather interesting. The more unique items left behind included a frontal hair toupee, hot sauce, and a breathalyzer. Wonder who left that behind. A leaf that's much needed. 2 containers occupied by spiders. A Beyonce fold-up fan, a ceramic cat, a jar of oysters, personalized blanket bearing a photo of a passenger and their dog, a small prop rat skeleton, a candle labeled "See You in Court," a fake tooth, and a gray tub of surgical implants. Other pieces of lost property included police-grade handcuffs, a live pet turtle, waist beads, and a burrito steamer. A rider's girlfriend's pregnant pills, a small box containing a gnome, a stand-up paddleboard paddle, a painting from SeaWorld, a playbill from the Spamalot show at Kennedy Center, a robot, Plan B contraceptive pills, a furry foxtail, a framed Taylor Swift autograph, a fart sensor, poster of Hillary Clinton, a paternity test, a WWE Championship belt, a garden fence, and the engine from a Jeep Liberty. How do you forget your engine? Some of the food items to be left behind in the past year included expensive blueberries that were the last of a store's supply, garlic butter from Benihana, and a tray of meat pie. One particularly forgetful passenger reported losing undergarments, bread, and a pack of ham and mayo. Unfortunately, there's no list to that, no link. Now, I know you saw the video that I had posted. There was a woman that was in Montana, Butte, Montana, and she captured video of a elephant going through traffic. Now, she used some rather colorful language. However, this video has no sound, and it looks to be like it was surveillance cameras from maybe stores or something like that. Elephant escaped circus wanders through Montana traffic. An elephant escaped from a traveling circus in Montana and went wandering through traffic in Butte. Silver Bow County Chief Executive J.P. Gallagher said the female elephant named Viola escaped from the Jordan World Circus on Tuesday and went walking down the middle of Harrison Avenue and heavy traffic. Sheriff Ed Lester explained that Viola had fled the circus when she was spooked by a passing vehicle. My coworker pointed out, "That's an elephant," started jumping up and down, pointing out the window. Civic Center Town Pump Co-Manager Josh Hannafin told NBC Montana, "We ran out the door and finally caught video of the elephant coming through the parking lot." Pretty exciting. Gallagher told CBS News that the runaway elephant caused minor damage to a storage area at the Civic Center, but we are grateful that everyone remained unharmed. The pachyderm pursuit ended with Viola being caught by her handlers and safely returned to the circus. And of course, animal rights PETA and PAWS reported in separate statements that Viola had escaped from the circus before in 2010 and 2014. She's an elephant. They get spooked. They get loose. This next story is one of my favorites. Runaway cows turn themselves in at rescue facility. Animal rescuers on the island of Guernsey said a herd of cows escaped from their fenced-in pasture, but were quickly recaptured when they wandered to an animal rescue center. The Guernsey Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals said the bovines left their farm and made their way to the SPCA's closest facility. "We are very blessed to have very clever animals here in Guernsey," the manager Steve Burns said. This weekend, a local herd of Guernsey cows got through their fencing and decided to visit the team at the GSPCA on Sunday. It was a very entertaining day for the team, but we like a challenge, and it wasn't long before we got hold of the farmer who owned them, and off they went. He said the cows weren't the first runaway animals to turn themselves in at the facility. In recent years, we have seen a stray horse walk into the car park, and even 2 goats walk on site to hand themselves in when they escaped their field. The last story is awful cute because the picture tells the whole story. Cat rescued from walls goes viral for purr-turbed, P-U-R-R-turbed expression. A cat rescue from between 2 walls by firefighters in England is going viral on social media thanks to an amused facial expression. Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service said on social media that crews from Preston responded when the curious cat was found trapped between two walls. Our firefighters carefully chiseled them out safe and sound. Firefighters wrote. The post quickly went viral online due to the cat's seemingly angry expression while being held by its rescuer. The furrowed feline earned comparisons to former social media star Grumpy Cat, aka Tartar Sauce, whose facial expression made her an international celebrity. And that is it for today's What in Tarnation. I hope you did enjoy that. You gotta wonder about these cats. They get loose and they get crazy, do all kinds of crazy things, don't they? Yeah. I mean, my cats have done some crazy things. I sitting here the other day, and at my front door, I have two curtains that I made, and I have them across the windows and the door, and I see the cats. I come in from the bedroom, and I see the cats hanging on this curtain. Apparently, there were bugs outside, and they could see them, and they were trying to get the bugs. I didn't get video, but you know, what are you going to do? Cats are cats. They're going to do what they do. I will insert the video at the end about the cats with the pool noodle. My cats, I have a pool noodle, and I put it behind my back when I sew. I have a belt that I had created that holds the pool noodle. And the idea is because I have arthritis in the middle of my back, it's hard to stretch. And so when I'm sewing sometimes, my back gets to hurting. So I will stretch around it like this in order to alleviate some of that pain. And also it helps so that I'm not later on in the day in extreme pain. So, but when I get through with it, I put the noodle up high. They've never gotten up that high before, but apparently they are doing that late at night because one evening, here comes Izzy toting that pool noodle between her legs. And then they get in here and they're playing with it, and Ronan, he's acting all nuts and crazy. He's funny. He likes to walk along it and act like he's sitting on it, and then he'll play with it. So yeah, I got some goofy cats. Those are the only things that I have videoed lately of them, just because I've been busy doing a lot of other things. But there will be some more tote bags coming into the shop, and they will be quilted. They most likely will have snaps put in them as well. And like I said, I'm working on taking a lot of the scraps that I have and just turning them into notions bags that I will be putting up sometime next week. So yeah, that's kind of it for that portion. All right, are you ready for the devotional? The devotional comes from Promises from God's Heart. And this is a Dayspring book, and I know I got it at Ollie's. Promises from God's heart for His guidance. When the Spirit of truth comes, He will guide you into all the truth. For He will not speak on His own, but He will speak whatever He hears. He will also declare to you what is to come. John 16:13. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. Think about Him in all your ways and He will guide you on the right paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. I will lead the blind along an unfamiliar way. I will guide them down paths they have never traveled. I will turn the darkness in front of them into light and level out the rough ground. This is what I will do for them. I will not abandon them. That comes from Isaiah 14:16. Be strong and courageous, for you will distribute the land I swore to their fathers to give them as an inheritance. Above all, be strong and very courageous to carefully observe the whole instruction my servant Moses commanded. Sorry about that, folks. My servant Moses commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or the left, so that you will have success wherever you go. How happy is the man who does not follow the advice of the wicked, or take the path of sinners, or join a group of mockers. Instead, his delight is in the Lord's instruction, and he meditates on it day and night. Psalm 1, 1 through 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Romans 12, 2. Be careful to do as the Lord your God has commanded you. You are not to turn aside to the right or to the left. Follow the whole instruction the Lord your God has commanded you, so that you may live, prosper, and have a long life in the land you will possess. Deuteronomy 5:32 through 33. And that is it for today's devotional. My friend and I last night went to a gospel concert locally, and it was by the Nelons, and I've never heard them before. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but they had a song at the very end, and it was a song, and I think the title of it, and I'm going to try to find it and link it down below for you to hear it. Basically, it was a song titled, Are You Jesus? And it was because of the kindness that this person had showed in the storyline of the video when they had filmed the video. So it was a beautiful song, and it always reminds me that kindness is one of the first and best things we can do for our fellow man, to spread that kindness. And that is exactly what Jesus Christ did. He spread kindness to everyone. He didn't care if you were a sinner. He didn't care if you were a filthy thief. He showed you kindness and showed you love. So, you know what I'm going to say. Remember to be a little kinder to yourself, be kinder to one another, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.